Hi boys and girls, this is Monday's lesson. Again, we are writing an imaginative narrative, which is a story that you make up from your own ideas. We're doing this again because we want to make sure we have lots of practice on this. To become a better writer, you have to write as often as possible, and doing an imaginative narrative gives you an opportunity to use your imagination and come up with lots of ideas for different stories. So today's lesson is going to be, again, just like last week, talking about the characters and the setting and the problem and the solution. We're just brainstorming for today. So we're writing our ideas back down on those papers that we had from last week. So parents, you can find those back in that same link that's on the plans for Monday. They're there and it says templates for writing. I've also added some of the final writing paper that I was using last week, which has the colored lines on it and the dotted lines. If you'd like to download those and print those off, that's fine too. So first step is creating our character. This week, our characters need to be animals. Now, we've read stories about Chicken Little. We've read stories that have animals as the characters before in class. We know the Three Little Pigs is just animals. And again, Chicken Little has just animals for its characters. So this week we're keeping the parameters for our characters to be animals only. So make sure that your story has only animals for characters. And that should be pretty easy to do. There's lots of animal choices you can come up with. So my main characters for my story this week are Tabby the cat and Tweety the bird. Okay, then it's time to brainstorm our setting. Again, this is using the same copy we used last time. The setting, you're still open to use whatever setting you would like. You can do inside a house, you could do it a castle, you could do it in a jungle since we're talking about animals, or you could do it in a desert. It doesn't really matter where your setting is as long as you have a setting, and you can always have more than one setting if you like. You could be inside a house and outside a house. You get to decide because it's your imagination that's coming up with this story. So my setting for my story with Tabby and Tweety is at a park near a pond during the day. So I drew a little park, and of course your pictures will have color. I just did mine without color just to make it quick. So I have brainstormed my characters and my setting. Now I'm going to start with my problem. The problem, remember, is the most exciting part of the story. It's where the main part of the story happens, and it helps the reader to get excited about reading the rest of your story because they want to find out how the problem gets solved. So the problem in this story is Tabby the cat sees Tweety the bird at the park in a tree by the pond. He wants to be friends and chat with Tweety, but the bird is afraid the cat might eat him. So that's the problem in our story. Now, the way that they solved this problem is the solution. So the solution is the answer to the problem in your story. Remember, this is where you get towards the end of the story, and this is where everything gets resolved in the story. So the solution for my story to the problem is Tabby finds a stick nearby, puts it into the pond for Tweety to float on, and then can chat with him. Tweety knows he will be safe because cats don't like water, so they can then become friends. So I've got my characters, Tabby and Tweety. I've got my setting at the park near a pond during the daytime. I've got my problem. Tabby wants to be friends with Tweety the bird, but Tweety's a little bit afraid of him because he knows that cats eat birds, so he's not wanting to be friends. And then Tabby the cat finds a stick for him to sit on in the water so they can talk while he's floating, and that way he can trust that he won't be able to eat him because he knows the cat won't get into the water. Okay, so that's the first part of our brainstorming for Monday. Good luck with your story. I can't wait to see your imaginative narratives and see what kind of animals you come up with to create your story.